The Chicago Bears just brought in an athletic beast, and this is a perfect pivot in this upcoming draft next week. And make no mistake about it, they've been very open about this. The Bears absolutely love Ashton Jeanty, but they aren't putting their eggs all in one basket if running back is their highest priority. I want to talk about an absolute stud, a guy who just came in for a top 30 visit to Hallis Hall, North Carolina's Omarion Hampton. The guy's just a stud. He isn't quite getting the redraft hype, though, that Ashton Jeanty's getting. But man, the difference isn't as much as many would think, and I'm already in fantasy football mode. I just said redraft. You guys know what I mean, real draft. And if the Bears are meeting with him, there's some serious interest here. Now, I'm not advocating that the Bears lock in on a running back in the first round, but let's look at what the worst case scenario might be at the Bears number 10 overall. I think this is the worst thing that could happen as far as player availability. So I'm just going to kind of read these off. We've got Cam Ward going number 1. Then we've got Travis Hunter going number 2 to Cleveland. Abdul Carter going to the New York Giants. And then New England goes Campbell. Jacksonville goes Mason Graham. Darn, that stinks. Las Vegas, they do indeed go with Ashton Jeanty. The Jets, they pulled the trigger on Tyler Warren. Carolina goes with Jalen Walker, and New Orleans ignores their newly found quarterback need, and they take Membo, offensive tackle out of Missouri. So what do the Bears do in this scenario? I don't want to just grab someone like an inconsistent Shamar Stewart. I'm going to do a story on him. I think drafting him would be a repeat of previous first-round mistakes by the Chicago Bears in our history. More on that in a couple days. But in this situation, I'd rather trade down, get at least another day 2 pick and draft Hampton. Lots of quality trench players there. Lots of quality trench players on day 2 and day 3, like quality starters. So some still believe that would be a reach for the Bears to make at number 10 overall, especially when you factor in other backs potentially available on day 2. I'm fully aware of that. But if the Bears view Hampton as closer to Jeanty and well ahead of the day 2 choices at running back, this might be a move. And according to Fox Sports' Jordan Schultz, the Bears, they did host former North Carolina running back Omarion Hampton, another projected first-round pick, possibly a day 2 pick, and he came in for his top 30 visit. Now, it went really well. Little on Hampton. The guy's a high-volume workhorse. He's a power back, and he actually improved every single season that he was with the Tar Heels, and really... How else do you explain it? He battered his way to a career-high 1,660 yards in 2024. Really good NFL size, 6 foot, 221 pounds. He has that over Jeanty. He has really deceptive breakaway speed to go with that, though. Just a really effective pass catcher as well. He's just a really sturdy all-around back. It's hard to poke any holes into his game. And this is to hear straight from Schultz. Hampton's immense skill set has endeared him to GMs, and there's a growing sentiment that he could be a first-rounder. Now, if he's the guy, Jeanty doesn't fall, which I think he will, but for the sake of this video, let's say that he doesn't. Let's go by this worst-case scenario that I outlined. If the top targets on the Bears list are gone, which this worst-case scenario, most of them are gone in my opinion, there's still a bunch of choices, really great ones. Hampton is one of them, and that's why I wanted to cover him in this video. So if the Bears are really sold on him, what should they do? GM Ryan Poles has spoken about how there aren't a ton of blue chip guys in this class. I think that's very much a correct assessment here. So with that, though, there are tons of potential starters, really solid, can't-miss football players, and I really think Hampton is one of those guys. I think he's actually more intriguing, though. I think this is a prime situation if this happens. Perfect situation to trade down just a little bit, maybe down to about maybe pick 15, accumulate some more really valuable picks, still get their guy. So if the Bears trade down, they get Omarion Hampton, and they get another second-round pick to make it 3 in that round. Do you think that's not a win? Land Hampton, get additional day 2 ammo. How is that not a win if the top guys on the board are gone at 10? Another really interesting thing, a really interesting scenario, what if Tyler Warren is not gone? Wouldn't it be awesome to see the Bears take Tyler Warren and then grab a guy like Hampton or one of the Ohio State running backs in round 2 or round 3, and then still cut a couple guys from the trenches? I think that's an absolutely phenomenal scenario. If you're sitting there with Tyler Warren and then let's say Travion Henderson, and then maybe Booker out of Alabama at guard, and then maybe get a nice edge, we could be in really good shape and also continue to feed this offense so Ben Johnson can work his magic. But, okay, I'm going to get back on the subject. Let's talk about Genty. Super flashy, right? But really, if we're talking real talk, the best move a lot of times is just to really take a solid football player and a guy without any visible knocks, no visible holes in his game, and that's exactly what Hampton is. And here's the thing between Hampton and Genty. This is why the gap might not be that wide. He faced top-flight competition in college during his first 2 years at UNC routinely. We're talking about some of his biggest games of his year. Those were against Florida State, Miami, Clemson. And who's the most common comp? I mean, David Montgomery is the guy that Omarion Hampton is compared to time and time again by draft nicks leading up to this draft. I don't think I have to detail how that's a fit with Ben Johnson's offense. And even Bill Zimmerman from Windy City Gridiron. He just does great work. Check him out. He absolutely loves this fit with the Bears. And I'm just going to read directly from him. But let's be honest. The odds that Genty makes it to 10 are pretty low. I think they're actually rising as we speak. But anyways, I'm just going to go by what he's saying. With a lack of blue chip prospects in this draft, someone's going to take the blue chipper in Genty because of a lack of options, even if the running back value for a top 10 pick isn't exactly great. But that doesn't mean that the Bears should give up on the running back dream, because Hampton will almost certainly be there. Hampton is a guy who can do it all and immediately start for the Bears as a rookie. He projects to become an excellent running back in this league, and there's absolutely no reason to worry too much about positional value with the 10th pick when the draft class is just so weak. So if Genty is there, of course you do it. If Hampton is there, you should do it too. So he's kind of illustrating that this draft class isn't that strong, and there's really nothing to be ashamed of getting your best guy regardless of position at number 10. So we're also looking at Caleb Johnson also visiting, another really solid back, and he's a guy that could go on day 2 or even day 3. Just so many good choices at running back. But let's look into just a little more specifically on Hampton. I really like this player. He's going to be a solid pro. And kind of some of the stuff that I'm talking about might be the reason that the Bears might think highly enough of him that he is above the competition behind him in a really strong running back class. And it might push them to go ahead and pull the trigger in the first round if worst case scenario happens and all of these top players that they're targeting are gone. So let's look at him a little more. A 2-year starter at North Carolina, featured back in former offensive coordinator Chip Lindsey's running attack. He just runs a really balanced running attack. It's really pro ready. Absolute beast last year, and he led the ACC in rushing. But it was even more impressive. We saw him repeat as the conference's leading rusher in 2024, but what had changed on the team? Drake May was gone. He went pro to the Patriots. And now you've got a team that defenses, they don't have to really respect the pass as much. Defenses were keying on the run. May going pro, it really changed this offense, and the focus did, in fact, shift to Omarion Hampton. So how did Hampton respond? He rushed for 100 or more yards in 10 of 12 games in 2024, set a UNC single-season record with 2,033 all-purpose yards. I'd say that's pretty good, right? And he differs from Genty a bit as far as size. Like I said, definitive NFL-ready frame at 6 foot and 221 pounds. Really decisive in the way that he runs. Reads the line and goes, not a lot of dancing, and he just quickly reads the blocking scheme. He really collects his feet quickly to accelerate through the line, and then he just presses and cuts towards daylight. And I really like the decisive way, the powerful way that this guy runs. And once he gets past the line, once he gets north-south, he's going to mash the gas pedal into the second level of the defense. But the only knock on him that I see from watching him, he runs a little bit upright. He's not always behind his pads. And those heavy hits, sometimes those take their toll over time, right? But the guy is shifty. He could be described as a bruiser, I think, as a power back. Just an effective blend of patience. He has lots of power, and he has really good speed. And it's just a big plus in a Ben Johnson offense, right? He has reliability on passing downs. He's a complete player. Should absolutely start as an NFL rookie no matter where he goes. Not a lot of holes in his game. You guys let me know in the comments, would you like to see Hampton wearing a Bears uniform? And you got to set it with a caveat. If this worst case scenario happens, if Will Campbell's gone, if Tyler Warren's gone, that is a possibility. If Genty's gone, if Mason Graham is gone, all these top guys that the Bears might be targeting, would you like to see Omarion Hampton join the Chicago Bears, not only as a number 10 overall pick, but maybe have a trade down scenario? Might work perfectly. What if we are able to get an extra day 2 pick and we picked them up at 15th overall? You guys let me know. It's always fun doing this show, and bear down. I'll talk to you soon. See ya.